Well, good morning, everybody. I had the distinct pleasure the other day of having my most favorite job to do. Can you just detect the sarcasm? It was cleaning out my fridge. So how this goes here is, in order to clean out my fridge, I first had to clean my kitchen, like clean off all the counters, get everything neat and tidy. And why? Because within 10 minutes of cleaning my fridge, my counters were a disaster. Because I pull everything out of my fridge. Shelves, food, everything. And when you see the pictures, you'll understand why. Now, I have a couple disclaimers here. Number one, it has not been that long since I cleaned this fridge. It has not been that long. It's only been a couple weeks since I cleaned this fridge the last time, and how it gets to be such a disaster so quickly is beyond me. One, I guess if I didn't cook so much, then maybe, because I always have leftovers, they always have to have somewhere to go. On top of that, I went to get a block of cheese out of the fridge one day, and if I'm trying to hide it, not gonna lie, or if it's just, there's a few blocks because we try and buy up when it's on sale, I will often hide it underneath the crisper drawers in the bottom of the fridge. So this one day I went looking for a block of cheese, pulled out the crisper drawer, reached in underneath to get the cheese, and all I felt was wet. And I bet you there was, I'm sure, almost a full bag of milk that had got spilt in the fridge and dripped down to the bottom underneath the crisper drawers. So you know how you go to do one job and it turns into more? That's what happened that day. So I had to pull out the crisper drawers. I saw a lot of it was frozen, which, that concerns me a little bit. It shouldn't freeze, but whatever. We have a bottom freezer, so I don't know if that is a factor. I cleaned up all the liquid stuff because I was in the middle of something. I was busy, and I just got what I could. And that alone set me off in a big way. So then, a few days later, so then the next day, I said to someone in the family who will remain nameless, I think some milk got spilled in the bottom of the fridge. And that nameless person said, oh yeah, I know it spilled, but I didn't see where it went. And I'm like, okay, you didn't see where it went? Like, how hard did you look? Of course you didn't see where it went. You didn't empty the fridge. You didn't look past the fridge door. No doubt you didn't see where it went. So, whatever. This is now what I get to clean up. Honestly, in this day and age, we're the 21st century. Can nobody design a self-cleaning fridge? Long story short, I started to clean the fridge. So it means emptying it all out, and I put everything on the counters, and I had been cooking, so I had pots and stuff out. The crisper drawers were pulled out. They're the scariest part of all. I'm sure you've heard the definition of a crisper drawer, and that is where all good intentions go to die. And when they die, they leave a lot of liquid and a lot of yuck and a lot of stuff that has to be cleaned up. So typically, I tackle things top to bottom, left to right. That is logical in my organizational brain. But I thought, no, man, this time I'm starting at the bottom. This is where my nightmares are, and I'm going to tackle them first. So I hauled everything out of the fridge, and at least in the main part of the fridge. I didn't take the stuff out of the doors. Honestly, because it hadn't been that long, and the last time I did it, I took out all the bins, I wiped down all the containers, washed all the bins, put them back. Seriously, legitimately, there was just a few things splattered on the outside of the bin, so I wiped that off. But in the inside, I emptied it. Shelves. I probably could just wipe off those shelves. I probably could go in, take all the food out, wipe off the shelves, put everything back. But no, I actually cannot stand it unless I take everything out and I wash the shelves, both sides, the glass shelves, in the sink, rinse them off with hot water, dry them off, put them back. So it's a big deal. The bane of my existence, I can tell you straight up. I'd rather clean toilets than clean my fridge. Got everything out, cleaned everything off, put everything back. So, 2 points I want to make sure you get. Number 1, turn the fridge and freezer off. Mine does both. If I turn the fridge off, it turns the freezer off, which is okay because it doesn't take me that long that it would thaw out everything in my freezer. Point number 2, which is really important, make sure you remember to turn it back on. Ask me how I know that you need to turn that back on. Thankfully, my freezer never thawed, but I did get up in the morning one time and wondered why the milk or the cream or whatever was not cold. So yes, don't forget that. I really try to keep the fridge cleaned out, because obviously I cook to have leftovers. That's not accidental, that's on purpose. And so there's often containers, and I will show you the containers. Actually, let me see. So these are my favorite containers. I get them on Amazon, and I will link them down below. So this is the smaller one. I think it's like 500 grams. It's about the same size as like your sour cream container or something from the store. And then I get this one. And they do have other sizes. These are the 2 I've got. The thing I love about these, they fit together. So in my drawer that used to be full of glass containers, because I won't reheat in plastic, and the lids and the plastic ones and the lids, and I never could find the lids and the bottom that fit. The lid that comes with these fits every size. So even if you get the smaller ones, if you get this size, if you get this size, these lids fit. So I am not rummaging for lids anymore that fit. If I can get my hand on one, I got a top for whatever container I have in my other hand. So I love those. I will link those below. They're like a deli container, I think. Anyway, I love those. I still do have some glass ones, only because I'm not going to throw them out. And for reheating, I won't reheat in plastic. So there's going to be leftover containers in my fridge because I always have leftovers, but I have a spot for the leftovers. So I have a system. I hate cleaning my fridge, but I am starting to feel a bit of pressure. So I have family coming for New Year's. I am doing something for everybody locally, Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. But as much as I can do ahead, I would like to get done ahead this year. So dips that can be baked afterward. I want to get that done. And in order to do that, see, this is where my logic maybe has flaws. The same with cleaning the kitchen before you clean the fridge. Because I had to clean it after I was done. Like it looked as bad or worse. I'm not sure, but I can't start the fridge if my kitchen's in chaos and it's not clean. And just like I can't start all this cooking and stuff if my fridge isn't organized. And then of course then I can't clean. I mean, I keep it tidy and I keep it done up, but I really want to do a deep clean, and I can't do that until all this pre-cooking is done, because I make a mess when I cook. Stuff falls on the floor, and if I've just cleaned, then that just infuriates me. I'm questioning a few of my patterns and the logic behind the things I think need to get done before I go to the next thing. But I can't work in chaos. So if I have to get everything clean and tidy first to be able to start a new project, then that's what I'm going to do. Sometimes I scratch my head like, does this really make sense? is this really the best use of your time and energy and whatever? I don't know. The other thing is, so we have a few, actually more and more every year, but a few dips and stuff that are pretty much tradition, entrenched in stone for us. So those, I know what I'm doing. I also would love, because we love appetizers, we could just do a whole holiday season on appetizers. We love appetizers. We can make meals out of appetizers. So I'm looking for really good appetizer recipes that can be made ahead and frozen. And so that when it comes time, I just take it out, thaw it out, and bake it. And it really frees me up to spend time with the people I love. So if you have ideas, please leave them below. I already have an artichoke dip. We do taco dip, which cannot be made ahead. It can overnight, but it's not one that can be frozen. I have a crab dip. I have a corn dip that I'm trying for the first time this year. I have a few that I want to bake. I would love to hear your ideas. Let me know what your favorites are. Let me know what's worked for you. I also want to make some dinner roll dough that I can make the dough ahead and freeze it, and the day of the dinner bring it out and thaw it the night before, bake it that day, and it just frees you up so much. I don't want to spend the limited time where my kids are here in the kitchen more than I have to. I mean, we all gather in the kitchen. I'm still with them, but I want to be able to sit and enjoy them. So the other concern I have this year, and I've told them, or I'm going to tell the ones I haven't spoken to yet, bring containers, because we've decided that as long as it works, now that I'm not working, we're going to get together always around New Year's. That way, the ones that have little kids can spend the Christmas day, whatever, with their kids at home, have their own traditions, not have to travel across the province, and then we can get together for New Year's, because I know what it was like. I don't want them to have to do that. Now that I'm not working, and I don't, one day is the same as the other to me, I think we're going to do New Year's. The drawback is when they came for Christmas, there was always a few days after. Most people get between Christmas and New Year's off. And I always overcook, and there's always too much food. And at least then a lot of it could get eaten up during the week. But now that they're coming for New Year's, usually within a few days, people have to travel, be back to work. So I've told them all, bring containers, because you are going to take food home with you. I do go overboard, I'm not going to lie. And it doesn't matter how hard I try. I can't pare it down. I'd rather have too much than not enough. And I always end up with too much. And so they're going to have to take some home, because if I get left with all that, I'm never going to hear the end of it the whole year. Till the next year when I do it again, I'm going to hear about it. Anyway, guys, I will be back. I'm going to try and get started probably next week. I got people coming this weekend. Next week, I'm going to start making some of these dishes ahead that I can freeze and have ready for New Year's. I need to get more tin containers. All my serving dishes, cake pans, all that kind of stuff is all packed away, because, we thought we'd be gone by now. And I am not unpacking all that and repacking it. I just won't. So I'm going to let you go. And my next videos will probably be doing some kind of dips and stuff to put away. So if you have tested and tried and true recipes that you guys love, please post them in the comments down below. If you want to follow along and see where we go with this, hit the subscribe button down below. And yeah, anyway, hope you guys are not frazzled. I hope you are able to prioritize, eliminate, and create just the most meaningful holiday season for you and your family. God bless you guys.